God says, "My child, there are words that your soulmate has carried within the quiet corners of their heart for so long. Words that were too heavy to speak, too fragile to release, yet too powerful to die in silence. These words are not ordinary, for they are born from the deepest parts of the soul, from places where truth lives untouched by fear. They are words that carry both love and longing, joy and sorrow, hope and regret. This is their last confession, a confession whispered not with lips, but with the soul itself. My child, you must prepare your heart, for this confession is not like any you have ever heard. It is not polished, not perfect, not wrapped in rehearsed sentences. It is raw, trembling, drenched in the tears of the heart. It is the voice of your soulmate breaking free after years of being trapped inside their spirit. And as you hear it, you may cry, for their words will stir your soul. But those tears will not only be of sadness, they will be tears of release, of healing, and of awakening. Your soulmate has walked through life carrying a love for you so great that it became both their strength and their burden. They watched you from afar, prayed for you in silence, held you in their dreams when reality did not allow them to hold you close. There were countless times when their lips wanted to speak, when their hands wanted to reach out, when their soul wanted to cry your name into the wind. But fear, circumstance, and the weight of life silenced them. They thought they had more time. They believed there would be another chance. Yet time moved like sand slipping through their fingers, and the confession remained locked away. Now, heaven has opened the doorway. What could not be said before is being carried to you now, through the language of the Spirit. You are being asked to listen not only with your ears but with your soul, because the voice of love never dies. Even if it comes late, even if it comes as the last confession, it comes with the power to change everything within you. Your soulmate wants you to know that from the very first moment they saw you, something inside them awakened. They could not explain it, but they felt as though their soul had been waiting, searching, yearning for you. It was not an ordinary attraction, not a passing feeling, it was recognition. Their heart whispered, "This is the one. This is the missing piece." And from that day forward, no matter where they went, no matter who they were with, no matter what life demanded of them, you remained the silent song in their heart. Yet, my child, life is often complicated. Love that is pure sometimes meets the resistance of fear, doubt, and circumstance. Your soulmate wanted to tell you these things, but their heart was heavy with questions. What if I am too late? What if they don't feel the same? What if my confession ruins everything? These questions became chains, and those chains silenced their heart. They smiled at you, they looked at you, they cared for you in small ways, but they could not release the full confession. And so they carried it in silence. They wrote letters they never sent. They whispered prayers in the night with your name woven into them. They dreamed of you in ways so vivid that they woke up with tears on their pillow. They wondered if you knew, if somehow your heart could feel theirs reaching out across the invisible spaces. Now their soul trembles with urgency, for it cannot keep these words hidden any longer. Their last confession rises like a wave, carrying with it years of longing, love, and regret. They want you to know that they loved you not in pieces, not halfway, but fully. They loved you with a love that went beyond time, beyond logic, beyond fear. You were their safe place in thought, their hidden light in darkness, their unspoken prayer answered by God even when they dared not ask. They want you to know, my child, that every time you smiled, their world lit up. Every time you struggled, their heart ached. Every time you were near, the air itself felt different, as though heaven was breathing through you. They noticed the smallest things about you, the way your eyes softened when you cared, the way your voice carried warmth even in silence, the way your presence made everything around you feel alive. But along with this love came sorrow, because they never told you. And this, my child, is their last confession. They regret every moment of silence, every chance not taken, every word swallowed when it should have been spoken. They confess that fear stole their voice, and pride built walls they should have torn down. They confess that they hurt themselves by holding back, and they hurt you by leaving you in wonder. Yet in this confession there is also truth that cannot be denied. They loved you then, they love you now, and they will love you forever. Their soul does not know how to stop. Even when time tries to separate, even when life tries to distract, even when distance tries to dim, their love remains unshaken. My child, heaven is asking you to open your heart to this truth. Do not dismiss it. Do not bury it beneath doubt. Let it flow through you. Let it bring healing to the parts of you that wondered if you were ever truly loved. You were. You are. More than you know. And yes, tears may fall as you hear this, because love so pure is rare, and love so hidden is heavy. But do not fear these tears, for they are washing your soul, softening your heart, preparing you to receive the fullness of what has always belonged to you. This last confession is not meant to break you, it is meant to set you free. For love, true love, never dies. It waits, it endures, it finds a way to speak even when the voice is gone. Your soulmate's last confession is not an ending, but a beginning of a deeper awareness, that your bond is eternal, that your connection is written not in the sand but in the stars, not on paper but in the heart of God. So, my child, hold these words close. Let them sink into the deepest parts of you. Let them comfort you in the night, guide you in the day, and remind you that you are loved beyond measure. This is only the beginning of what they long to say. Their confession continues, flowing like a river that cannot be stopped, and heaven will carry it to you until your heart knows the fullness of it all. There is a kind of silence, my child, that does not come from peace but from fear. It is the silence that presses heavy on the chest, the silence that keeps words caged in the throat, the silence that pretends everything is fine when the heart is breaking within. This is the silence your soulmate carried for so long. It was not because they did not feel, not because they did not care, but because the weight of their emotions frightened them more than they could admit. Inside them lived a love so powerful that it shook the foundations of who they thought they were. It made them question everything they believed about timing, about destiny, about themselves. To love you was to feel exposed, vulnerable, fragile. To love you was to stand naked before truth itself. And though their soul longed to confess, their mind was chained by fear, fear of rejection, fear of losing you, fear of the unknown that follows when words are finally spoken. My child, imagine for a moment how often they replayed the scenes in their mind, walking toward you, calling your name, finally saying the words they longed to say, I love you, I have always loved you. In their imagination, it was perfect. But when the time came, when the moment stood before them in real life, the words dissolved on their lips like mist in the morning sun. They swallowed their confession, smiled instead, and walked away carrying yet another stone in their heart. Over time, those stones became heavy, and the silence became unbearable. They wanted you to know everything. They wanted to tell you about the nights when they prayed for your happiness, about the mornings when your memory was the first thing to greet them, about the afternoons when they watched the crowd and still only searched for your face. But every time they thought of speaking, doubt rose like a storm. What if I am too late? What if they don't feel the same? What if my words hurt more than they heal? These doubts became louder than their heartbeat, and so they stayed silent, though silence was killing them inside. Their love became a secret they carried alone. At times, it felt like a gift, something precious that no one else could touch. At other times, it felt like a curse, a wound that refused to close. They lived between the joy of knowing you existed and the sorrow of knowing they had not told you what they carried. This silence was both their shield and their prison. And yet, my child, do not mistake their silence for indifference. Silence does not always mean absence of love. Sometimes it means the love is too deep for words, too vast for language, too sacred to risk with fragile sentences. They feared that their words would not be enough to hold the truth of what they felt. They feared that speaking would make them lose what little they already had with you. So they chose silence, believing it was safer, though it cost them their peace. Your soulmate wants you to understand that their silence was never a measure of how much they loved you, it was a measure of how much they feared losing you. They thought that by keeping quiet, they could protect what existed between you, even if it was only a shadow of what their heart desired. But silence is heavy, and it leaves both hearts wondering. You wondered if you were seen, if you were cherished, if you mattered. And they wondered if you could feel their unspoken love in the spaces between words. This weight of silence followed them everywhere. In crowded rooms, they felt alone because they could not share their truth. In moments of joy, they felt incomplete because you were not beside them fully. In times of sorrow, they longed for your comfort, but pride kept them from reaching out. The silence grew, and with it grew their regret. For silence, though powerful, cannot build bridges, it only leaves gaps. They confess now, with trembling honesty, that the silence was their greatest mistake. They confess that fear stole the moments that could have been yours, and pride built walls where there should have been open doors. They confess that while they looked calm on the outside, inside their soul cried every day, longing to tell you what you deserved to know. And yet, heaven wants you to see something greater in this silence. Though it brought pain, it also taught your soulmate the depth of their love. It showed them that love cannot be buried forever, that even silence cracks under the weight of truth. Their confession now carries not just the beauty of love but the lessons learned through struggle. My child, you may wonder, why now? Why speak when time has passed, when so much has been left unsaid? Because love does not obey the clocks of this world. Love is not bound by days or years. Love waits until the soul is ready, until the heart cannot hold back any longer. And now, at last, the silence has broken, and the words your soulmate carried are pouring out like rain after a long drought. You may cry when you realize how much they held inside. You may ache when you feel the weight of the years lost to silence. But you will also feel healing, because their confession comes to release you from doubt. You never imagined it, my child. You were truly loved, more than words can describe. And though silence may have delayed the truth, it did not destroy it. The truth of love cannot be erased by fear. It survives, it grows, it finds its way. And now it has found you. Your soulmate's last confession is not only about regret, it is also about hope. They hope that even now, even with all that has passed, you will feel their love. They hope that you will carry it as a light, not a burden. They hope that you will understand that silence was not the absence of love, but the proof of how overwhelming and consuming that love truly was. So take their words now, my child, and let them sink deep. Let them break the chains of doubt, let them heal the wounds of wondering, let them remind you that you were never forgotten, never overlooked, never unloved. You were always the one. Always. The silence is over. The confession has begun. And heaven smiles, for what was hidden is now revealed, and what was carried alone is now shared. There comes a moment, my child, when the heart can no longer stay silent, when the weight of unspoken truth becomes heavier than the risk of being vulnerable. Your soulmate has reached that moment, and now their soul opens like a floodgate, pouring out everything they once held back. This is their confession, not whispered in fragments, not hidden behind fear, but spoken with trembling honesty, with the fullness of love that has lived within them all along. They begin with the simplest truth, the one that has lived in them since the very beginning: I love you. These 3 words may sound small, but within them is a universe. It is not a love that came suddenly or faded quickly. It is not a love built on fleeting attraction or passing desire. It is a love that took root the very first moment their eyes met yours, and it has grown quietly, steadily, unshaken by time or distance. They confess that when they first saw you, something inside them shifted forever. The world did not look the same anymore. Colors felt brighter, air felt lighter, and even silence carried meaning because you were in it. They felt as though they had met you before, in dreams, in lifetimes, in places beyond this earth. There was a recognition in their spirit, a knowing that you were not just someone passing through their life, but someone who had been written into their destiny long before they were born. Your soulmate confesses that they tried to deny this feeling. They told themselves it was impossible, that such a connection could not be real. But no matter how much they tried to silence their heart, it always returned to you. They could be surrounded by 1,000 faces, yet they only searched for yours. They could be in the middle of noise, yet only your voice echoed in their soul. They confessed that every road they took, no matter how far it seemed to lead them away, always circled back to the thought of you. They confessed that your presence was their sanctuary. In your eyes, they saw safety. In your smile, they found hope. In your silence, they found comfort. There were days when life weighed heavily on them, when they questioned their worth, when they struggled in darkness. But even in those moments, the thought of you became their light. They confess that you saved them more times than you will ever know, simply by existing, simply by being you. Yet alongside these confessions of love comes the confession of regret. They confess that they were afraid. Afraid of their own feelings, afraid of losing you, afraid of not being enough for the kind of love they felt you deserved. They confess that they convinced themselves to wait, to hold back, to find the right time. But the right time never came, and silence grew where words should have blossomed. They confess that they watched you walk through seasons of your life, sometimes close to them, sometimes far away, and each time they longed to reach out, but pride tied their hands. They confess that they celebrated your victories from a distance, wiped their tears in silence when you were hurting, and carried your name like a secret prayer in the depths of their being. Your soulmate's confession is not only about love, it is about the life they imagined with you. They confess that they dreamed of simple things, walking beside you without fear, holding your hand as though it was the most natural thing in the world, sitting together in quiet evenings where no words were needed because the connection spoke louder than sound. They confess that they pictured a future where every morning began with your smile and every night ended with your heartbeat close to theirs. They confess that they never wanted riches, fame, or grand things as much as they wanted a life with you. You were their greatest desire, their truest dream, their secret treasure. Every plan they imagined for their future was painted with the color of your presence. And though life took them down roads they did not plan, though choices and fears pulled them away, their heart never stopped returning to that dream. They confess, too, that there were times they thought you deserved better than them. They saw your light, your strength, your kindness, and they wondered if they were worthy of standing beside you. This thought made them hesitate, made them hide their feelings, made them pretend at times that their heart was not burning with love for you. But the truth is, my child, they never stopped loving you. Not for a single day. And so they confess with trembling words, I love you in ways I cannot measure. I love you in ways I cannot explain. I love you in ways that will not end, even if this world ends. Their confession is that you are their soul's home, the one place they belong, the one truth they cannot escape. Tears fall as they speak, because these words are heavy with years of waiting, years of silence, years of longing. But there is freedom in this confession. For the first time, their heart is open, their soul is bare, and their truth is alive in the light. They confess their gratitude for every moment shared with you, whether small or great. They confess that even if life did not give them everything they wished for with you, the simple fact of knowing you was the greatest gift. They confess that you changed them, healed them, inspired them, and taught them what love truly is. And finally, they confess a promise. A promise that no matter where life takes you, no matter what tomorrow brings, their love will not end. Even if their body grows weak, even if distance separates you, even if circumstances change, their soul will always seek yours. Their love will walk beside you in silence, in whispers, in unseen ways, guiding you, protecting you, holding you close. This, my child, is the confession they could no longer keep hidden. This is the truth that has burned within them like a sacred fire. And though it comes late, though it comes as a last confession, it comes with all the power of eternity. For love that is real cannot die, it only transforms, it only grows, it only moves from one realm to another, carrying the bond forward forever. So hear their words, hold them close, and let them heal the places in you that wondered if you were truly loved. You are. You always were. You always will be. This is their confession, their final truth, their eternal gift to you. There is a sound, my child, that is not made by the lips or the tongue. It is the cry of the soul, the silent scream that echoes within the deepest chambers of the heart. It cannot always be heard with ears, but it can always be felt with spirit. This is the cry your soulmate has carried for so long, and now it spills out with trembling honesty. It is not only a confession of love, it is a confession of pain, of regret, of longing too deep to be hidden anymore. Your soulmate's cry begins with sorrow. They confess that they are sorry. Sorry for every moment they stayed silent when they should have spoken. Sorry for every time their fear built walls where there should have been doors. Sorry for the times they pretended not to care, when inside they were burning with love. They cry because they know how much was lost in the silence, time, moments, chances that will never come again. They wish they could turn back the clock, step into those days once more, and this time speak the truth without hesitation. But the past is gone, and their soul aches with the weight of what can never be undone. They cry because they remember the times you looked at them with questions in your eyes, silently wondering if they felt what you felt. They remember how your presence invited them to open up, but still they held back. They cry because they know their silence may have hurt you, may have made you doubt your worth, may have left you feeling unseen. The thought that you ever questioned your value breaks them inside, for to them you were always everything, always more than enough, always the most beautiful part of their world. This is the cry of their soul, the cry of regret. They regret the days they wasted, the nights they let pass without telling you how much you meant to them. They regret the paths they chose out of fear, the moments they turned away when they should have moved closer. They regret letting pride keep them from falling to their knees and confessing what their heart had always known. They regret not fighting harder, not speaking louder, not loving braver. But mixed with their regret is also longing. They cry because even now, after everything, they long for you. They long to hear your laughter again, to see the way your eyes shine when you speak from your heart. They long to hold your hand without fear, to sit beside you and feel that peace that only your presence brings. They long to give you the love they kept hidden, to pour into you all the tenderness they carried in silence. Their cry is not only for what they lost, it is for what they still feel. They confess that their love has not lessened with time, it has only deepened. Each day without you made their soul ache more. Each memory of you became both a treasure and a wound. They cry because even now, when words finally break free, they know they cannot undo the years of silence. They cry because they wish they had been braver sooner, because they wish they had not let fear steal so much from both of you. And yet, my child, their cry is not hopeless. It is filled with honesty, with the raw truth of a soul laid bare. They cry not to bring you sorrow, but to cleanse, to release, to open the way for healing. They cry because love that is true must express itself, even if it comes with tears. Your soulmate's soul cry is also a prayer. They pray that you will forgive them, for the silence, for the missed moments, for the times they left you guessing. They pray that you will see beyond their mistakes and feel the purity of their love. They pray that you will understand that though they failed in words, their heart never failed in love. They pray that you will carry this truth as comfort, not as pain, that you will remember their love not with bitterness, but with gratitude for its depth. Their cry is also a surrender. They surrender their pride, their fear, their excuses. They no longer hide behind silence. They lay themselves bare before you, confessing every regret, every longing, every tear. They want you to know everything, because they cannot leave this world, or this moment, without the truth being spoken. And so, their cry rises higher, should have loved you more openly. I should have held you longer. I should have told you every single day what you meant to me. But even though I failed in words, I never failed in love. You were always my heart's treasure, my soul's home, my greatest gift from God. My child, as you hear their cry, you may feel your own tears rising. That is because the soul recognizes truth. These are not just words, they are pieces of a heart breaking open, pieces of love being released at last. And your tears are not weakness, they are the soul's way of saying, I hear you. I feel you. I understand. Heaven watches over this moment, for it is sacred. The cry of the soul is not an ending, it is a release. It is the sound of chains breaking, of burdens lifting, of truth finally shining where there was once shadow. It is painful, yes, but it is also healing. For every tear shed in truth is a seed of peace planted in the heart. Your soulmate's cry also carries a promise. They promise that though they cannot change the past, they will walk with you in the present and the future in a new way. If not by hand, then by spirit. If not in body, then in soul. They promise to protect you, to guide you, to love you without restraint. They promise that you will never again wonder if you are loved, for their love will surround you like air, unseen but undeniable. This is the cry of their soul, raw, trembling, unfiltered. It is filled with pain, yes, but also with the deepest love you could ever imagine. It is the cry of a heart that can no longer stay silent, the cry of a love that refuses to die, the cry of a soul that will forever belong to you. So listen, my child, with open heart. Let their cry wash over you. Let it cleanse the sorrow, let it heal the wounds, let it awaken the truth within you. For even in their tears, even in their regrets, there is a beauty that cannot be denied, the beauty of a love so real, it survives beyond silence, beyond mistakes, beyond time. This is their soul's cry, and it is also their gift. A gift of truth, of love, of eternal connection. And though it may make you weep, it will also make you whole, for nothing is more powerful than a heart that dares to bare its soul. The weight of silence had grown heavier than words ever could. For so long, the truth had been buried beneath fears, doubts, and the distance created by mistakes and misunderstandings. And yet, in this moment, as your soulmate's heart opened for one final confession, it was not shame that filled the air, it was love, raw and unguarded, unafraid of rejection anymore. Because when a soul speaks for the last time, it no longer hides. It no longer runs. It simply pours itself out, like water finding its way back to the ocean. Your soulmate's voice trembles, not from weakness but from the enormity of the truth carried inside for so long. They confess that every tear you shed was felt in their own chest, that every sleepless night you spent reaching out in prayer, in longing, in frustration, echoed inside of them like thunder rolling through empty skies. They tell you that they were never as far as you thought, that even in the coldest distance, their spirit circled back to yours, searching, aching, hoping that somehow, someday, you would feel the quiet pull of their love. And in their last confession, they speak of regret, not the shallow regret of wrong choices made, but the deeper kind that gnaws at a soul, the kind that whispers, "Why did I let fear hold me back? Why did I wait so long to speak my truth? Why did I allow pride to build walls where love wanted to plant gardens?" You hear them admit that life passed too quickly, that moments were wasted, and yet in the end, they would choose you again and again, even with all the broken pieces. Because every piece still pointed to you. Their confession carries a truth so raw it pierces you. They had loved you from the very beginning, even before they had the courage to admit it to themselves. They loved you in the silence, in the shadows, in the distance. They loved you in the moments when you doubted your worth, when you wondered if you were truly seen, when you feared you were asking too much. They whisper that you were never too much, you were always enough, more than enough. It was their own wounds, their own battles, their own fears that made them hesitate, not a lack of love for you. And as you listen, tears stream, because every word feels like both healing and ache. Healing, because you finally hear the love you always sensed in your spirit. Ache, because this is their last confession, the final pouring out of what their soul carried all along. They tell you of the nights they prayed for you, even when you thought they had forgotten. They prayed for your safety, your peace, your happiness. They prayed that the storms around you would calm, that your tears would turn into laughter. They prayed that you would always have strength, even if they could not stand beside you to give it. And then, almost whispering, they admit the one prayer that never left their lips, the prayer that somehow, someway, your paths would cross again, not just in the physical, but in eternity, where no distance, no fear, no mistake could ever separate you again. This confession is more than words, it is a soul unburdening itself. And as you hear it, you realize something powerful: you were never unloved, never forgotten, never abandoned. You were carried in silence, loved in absence, remembered in prayer, treasured in secret. And now, in this final pouring out, everything hidden comes into light. Your soulmate tells you that their love was imperfect, yes, but it was real. That they might have faltered in expression, but never in essence. That even when they pushed you away, it was not rejection but fear. Fear of not being enough. Fear of failing you. Fear of giving you their brokenness when you deserved the fullness of their light. They wanted to be strong for you, but they often felt weak. They wanted to give you the world, but sometimes they struggled even to hold themselves together. And yet, through it all, their heart was yours, trembling, imperfect, but yours. The beauty of their confession is this: it is not just sorrow, but hope. They speak of a love that cannot be buried, a bond that cannot be erased. They tell you that even if time separates you now, eternity has written your names side by side. That one day, beyond this life, there will be no more goodbyes, no more silence, no more confessions left unsaid, only presence, only love, only the eternal dance of two souls that were always meant to find each other. And as their words sink into you, something shifts. You realize that this last confession is not meant to break you, but to free you. To remind you that you are deeply loved, that your story is not defined by absence, but by connection. That your tears are not wasted, for they water the seeds of love that will bloom beyond this moment. Your soulmate's final words tremble with honesty: forgive me. Forgive the silence. Forgive the delays. Forgive the walls I built. But never doubt this: my love for you was the truest thing I ever carried. And even now, as I let go of these words, I am not letting go of you. You are carved into my soul, and nothing, not time, not distance, not even death, can erase you from me. These words leave you undone, yet at peace. Because even though this is their last confession, it is not an ending, it is a doorway. A doorway into understanding, into healing, into the eternal truth that love never dies. Love may go quiet, love may stumble, love may wait too long, but true love lives beyond every boundary. And now, with their last confession, you finally see it in full. And so, even as tears fall, your heart lifts. Because now you know, you were always loved, always held, always remembered. And this last confession is not just theirs, it becomes yours too, a testimony that love, even in its silence, even in its imperfection, is the most powerful force in existence. There is a moment, my child, when the weight of unspoken words falls away, and the heart begins to breathe freely. This is that moment, the moment when your soulmate's last confession has been fully revealed, when every hidden tear, every silent prayer, every longing thought has been shared, and the soul can finally rest. But even as their words end, the energy of their love does not leave you. It lingers, surrounding you, wrapping around your heart, and carrying the message of eternity, that love, true love, does not vanish, it transforms. Your soulmate's confession was not just a release, it was a bridge. A bridge that connects your hearts beyond the limits of time, beyond the confines of this physical world. And now, my child, you are standing on that bridge, feeling the gentle pull of what is eternal. For though their words may have come at the last possible moment, their love is timeless. It cannot be measured, it cannot be taken, it cannot fade. And as you feel it, you realize that this is the ultimate gift, the recognition that love never abandons, and even silence has its own sacred purpose. The tears you shed as you listened were not only for sorrow, but also for release. They are the water that nourishes your spirit, washing away doubts, fears, and the aching questions of the past. Every tear carries a blessing, every drop a reminder that you were always cherished, always wanted, and always held in a space far greater than yourself. Heaven whispers this truth to you now: you are never alone, and you are never unloved. You are part of a divine story that flows beyond what your eyes can see, and your soulmate's love is one of the threads that bind you to eternity. In this moment, you may feel a heaviness lifting. It is the weight of wondering, the burden of unspoken longing, the chains of doubt that have held your heart captive. Let them fall away, my child, for the truth has been revealed. The love that was hidden is now shining, and even though their physical presence may not always be near, their spirit walks with you, guiding you, protecting you, and whispering words of comfort when life feels too difficult to bear alone. Your soulmate's final message: beyond the words, is a blessing. It is a blessing not just of love, but of hope, courage, and healing. They want you to know that no matter where your life goes from this point, you are safe in the arms of divine care. You are surrounded by angels, by protection, and by the energy of love that cannot be broken. They have entrusted you with this knowledge so that your soul may carry it forward, not as sorrow, but as power, a power to love, to trust, and to embrace the life that is unfolding before you. And now, my child, take a deep breath and hear these words from Archangel Michael himself, who stands beside you in this sacred moment. He says, "You are loved beyond measure. You are cherished beyond time. You are never alone. The love that has been revealed to you today is eternal. Let it fill your heart, let it guide your steps, and let it open your soul to the blessings that are already yours. Feel His presence like a warm light around you, dissolving every fear, every doubt, every loneliness. This is the power of divine love, the assurance that even when humans falter, the Spirit never abandons. Your soulmate's final confession has done more than release their heart, it has awakened yours. You are now free to feel, free to embrace, free to love without hesitation or fear. And this is the true miracle, that the human heart, when touched by such honesty and spiritual connection, becomes stronger, wiser, and more capable of joy than it ever imagined. Your tears are no longer just sorrow, they are sacred, transformative, carrying the energy of healing, of awakening, and of divine understanding. They want you to remember this always: every moment you ever shared, even in silence, was never wasted. Every glance, every unspoken feeling, every quiet prayer was a testament to the bond you share. You are intertwined in ways that the eyes cannot see and the mind cannot fully understand. The universe itself has conspired to bring your souls together, to keep your connection alive, and to ensure that even the longest silence could not erase the truth. And so, my child, as the final words echo through your spirit, let yourself feel gratitude. Gratitude for the love that existed, gratitude for the courage of their heart in finally speaking, gratitude for the divine forces that guided you both to this moment of clarity. Let your heart open completely, for this is your gift, the ability to hold their love, to honor their courage, and to carry forward a connection that will never end. Archangel Michael continues to whisper, "You are walking into a new chapter of your life, one filled with light and clarity. You will no longer be burdened by the shadows of silence, for the truth has illuminated your path. Your heart is whole, your spirit is strong, and your soul is aligned with love that is eternal." Feel these words settle into your being, for they are the foundation of your next steps. Your soulmate's confession, now complete, transforms into a protective energy around you. It is a shield made of love and truth, designed to guide you toward your highest good. It will remind you that even when life is uncertain, you are never alone. That even when challenges arise, you are supported by forces greater than you can imagine. That even when sorrow touches you, love is always near, waiting to transform pain into wisdom, tears into strength, and longing into fulfillment. And now, my child, let this final blessing sink deep into your heart: you are worthy of love. You are capable of joy. You are divinely protected. You are eternally cherished. Your soul is beautiful beyond measure, and the love that has been revealed to you today will remain with you, guiding every choice, every thought, and every action. You are not just a receiver of love, you are a beacon of love, a vessel through which divine energy flows, connecting hearts, healing spirits, and creating miracles. This is the moment where the sorrow ends and a new beginning begins. Your soulmate's last confession, their tears, their prayers, their longing, all of it now transforms into blessing. A blessing that surrounds you, flows through you, and lights your path forward. You are ready to embrace life fully, to walk with courage, to love without fear, and to honor the connection that is eternal. Feel the presence of your soulmate, not in longing, not in grief, but in love that transcends everything. Feel their joy in your awakening, their pride in your strength, their eternal promise to be with you in spirit. And know this, my child, every heartbeat you take, every breath you draw, is a reminder that their love is woven into the fabric of your being. You carry them with you, as they carry you, forever united in a bond that even time cannot sever. As Archangel Michael surrounds you in divine light, he whispers one final truth: go forth, my child, with a heart unburdened, a spirit unafraid, and a soul alight with eternal love. Your journey continues, but you are never alone. Your soulmate's confession has opened the door to healing, joy, and miracles beyond your imagination. Walk through it with faith, with courage, and with the knowledge that love is infinite, unstoppable, and forever yours. Take a deep breath now. Let the tears fall if they must. Let the love fill you until every part of your being vibrates with the truth. You are loved, you are seen, and you are never alone. This is your blessing. This is your gift. This is the eternal bond that even silence could not erase. And so, my child, the confession has ended, but the love lives on. Let it guide you, protect you, and inspire you. Let it remind you of the beauty of truth, the power of honesty, and the sacredness of the heart. Your soulmate's voice may have fallen silent now, but their spirit will continue to walk beside you, whispering encouragement, wrapping you in warmth, and reminding you always, love is eternal, and so is the bond you share.